rather, that somehow this is a problem that has been brought into Europe by, I presume, Douglas means the immigration of Muslims in big numbers.
There's no doubt that when you look at the Muslim world in general, there are lots of problems. We have enormous problems with regards to women's rights, LGBT rights, freedom of speech, human rights, and we got lots of things that we should be criticizing, and we are criticizing. But it would also be a very big mistake to think that the Muslim world is a monolithic whole and that all Muslims are similar and they have a similar worldview. In fact, they do not. There are enormous differences. There always were, historically, and today as well, depending on whom you talk to, which country, what time you are focusing on. The differences are amazing. My worry is extremists in one place are creating more extremists elsewhere. Whether we like it or not, we're all far too globalized to think that by closing our doors and surrounding ourselves by walls, we will be safe and away and removed from all these problems. We won't. We're all of us in this together. It is a massive, terrorism is a big international global problem, and it can only be solved through global solidarity. With regards to the burkini ban in France, I sincerely believe it was very, very wrong. It was a big mistake. I think we should be criticizing faith-based schools, we should be criticizing extremist preachers, we should definitely monitor what people are saying in the mosques, but for God's sake, chasing women who are just wearing their burkinis on the beach, that is not the way forward. And it's even more dangerous because what's happening is, and this is not what we perhaps are not aware of much, those pictures, do you remember the picture of one lady wearing a burkini in France and 3 French policemen by her? Unfortunately, that very photograph has been circulated in Turkey, in Jordan, in Egypt, with awful captions saying, you see, this is what they're doing to our women.
All staged, with a TV crew called upon just to take the picture.
This is very dangerous.
The Catholic nuns are dressed the same way with a burkini, and you allow them to dress like that. Why do you go after? This is crazy.
Can I suggest
Douglas,
something? May I suggest something?
Can I just finish just
okay,
one
Elif, I cut you off before, so we'll let you finish now. Yeah, and then
I come from a country, because Turkey and France have lots of similarities. The laicite we have borrowed directly from France, not the Anglo-Saxon secularism. And Turkey has applied the headscarf ban. Iran has applied the headscarf ban. It didn't work. It created massive problems. But yes, we all share the same aims with regards to how do we prevent extremism, how do we prevent terrorism, but let's also find more progressive ways forward than chasing women with burkinis.
Douglas,
first of all.
So we'll get to Douglas Murray's reply in just a moment, but I just wanted to sort of give a little reaction to what this lady is. Now, this lady is from Turkey, one of the I think she's the most read Turkish female writer in that country, Muslim. She's, I believe, more of a secularist. She's definitely progressive, definitely liberal. Nothing wrong with that. But you can see where she's coming from. She's almost like trying to make an excuse for the Islamists, for the Muslimists. Okay, not for the everyday, just average Muslim that's going through their business and could care less about all the other stuff, just wants to basically put food on the table, have his kids or, go to school, not be, harassed by the Muslim police or whatever, just wants to do his business like anybody else around the world, basically. But what this lady fails to realize is that when these migrants go to the other country, when they go to France, when they're, and some of the migrants, when they're coming in, even into Turkey, they're not assimilating with the culture. Now, I know she said, okay, the ban in France was wrong. I sort of agree with that. I mean, you know what? Because we're freedom of expression. Right? Freedom of expression. Freedom of speech. That's what we're all about from the West. So the ban on clothing is something that I don't go along with. Now, again, government offices, government buildings, in schools, other places, at the airport, getting your picture taken for driver's licenses, passports, and stuff like that. Absolutely. And all these women, somebody has told them something completely wrong. Because in Islam, you don't got to do this. You don't have to be a UFO, an unidentified female object. That's what I call them, UFOs. You don't have to. If you don't want to, you don't put a scarf on. It's fine. You can be a little more liberal. You want to be more conservative? Yeah, okay, just cover that. Just like putting on a headscarf, literally. If you want to do it, that's fine. But there's nothing that says you got to cover the lips. You got to only have the eyes, open, and that's it. That's just culture, and that's coming from men. That's it, period. All right? That's it. Done. Anyways, we'll get to Douglas Murray in just the next few seconds. But before we do so, you're watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I'm your host, Dr. Nasir. We welcome you one and all, folks. Welcome here, where I give you my political prescription from my political perspective on what happens when you've got culture, you've got media, you've got science, you've got Hollywood, and you've got politics, and they all come and collide. So let's get to Doug Murray and see how he uses his velvet feathered glove to see if he can pound some sense into these people. Let's go to that right now.
The burkini ban is a massive diversion. A massive diversion. It was a big mistake for the French state when that happened, I agree, but this is not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is that just up the road, again, a few days ago, 3 men with machetes went through a London street hacking at people saying this is for Allah. Okay? That's our problem. And this is always the way with this. We always have diversions, and some of these diversions we bring upon ourselves. But let me just get back to the main point. We have had historically massive issues in Europe. Nobody who knows anything about our history wouldn't pretend that. But this is a civil war within a religion which was not our war, and it has become our war. It has become our war, and Elif, you are right and wrong. You are totally wrong to say that there isn't some agreement on this. If you are a Muslim and you follow Islam, you believe that the Quran came from God, and you believe that what is in it is at least very hard to run against. And so now we have a situation in a country like this one, where actually the majority of British Muslims want being gay, like I am, to be made illegal now, okay? So we had a nice liberal agreement in recent decades over being gay, and now you import a community which actually thinks not just that they're not on board with gay marriage, but they think it should be made a lock-upable offense. Where does that come from? It comes from Islam, okay?
And Doug's right. And to give you guys an idea, the black screen that you're seeing there in front of you, that is caused because I think what they were trying to do is they were preventing the audience members from being photographed or being on video camera. And that's why you see the blackouts when they're panning the crowd. I guess it's just people are scared or were told that they didn't want their faces out there. So that's the reason, for this, black screen.
Upable offense. Where does that come from? It comes from Islam. Okay? Where do all these things come from? They come from this, and I'm sorry, but it is a much worse problem than we think. Okay, one poll last year showed that 50% of British Muslims would not go to the police if they knew somebody involved in an ISIS-like group was around them. Another poll showed 2/3 of British Muslims saying they would not go to the police if they knew somebody involved in extremist activity. What the hell are we doing? What the hell?
Absolutely. What the hell are we doing? Why this radicalization? How is this happening? This is like second, third generation, but we told you why. It's because of assimilation. They're not assimilating. They're living in the ghetto areas, the barrios, basically, where all the immigrants, where all the refugees, where all the asylum seekers are coming. They're not being spread around the country. These are smaller countries, obviously, than the United States of America, which is like 3,000 miles wide. And people can go wherever they want to settle. And there's opportunities everywhere. But in some of these European countries, the economic opportunities are in the densely populated, cities. And so what happens? That's where everybody goes. That's where everybody stays. That's where everybody lives. Sometimes 30, 40, 50, 60% of the population of a city or a town is made up of an immigrant population. So of course, when you're doing things like that, okay, you're not going to assimilate. That's what's happening.
What are we doing in ignoring that?
Okay, Douglas, let me...
Yeah, but this is so
I know,
unfair.
Ellie.
This is so
I
unfair.
will. I'm going to let you come back. I just want to press Douglas on a question because I want to know if we accept what you said, and so obviously a lot of people in this room do, and I think quite a lot don't. I want to know what you do with this sentiment because you have just described an issue, a difference with not just the people who went on a murderous rampage in Borough Market, but with Britain's entire Muslim community, 2 or 3 million people. So what are you actually practically saying? You're saying that this is a faith that didn't exist here before, therefore a problem that didn't exist here before. Are you suggesting these 2 or 3 million British citizens somehow have to now leave the country?
No, of course not. Of course.
So what are you suggesting?
The first thing is you admit this issue and you slow down or stop the flow. The obvious thing, if you've got a problem, admit to it and slow the flow. Okay? The second thing is, obviously, you try to work on the people you have here. Obviously. You can't...
What does work on mean?
Well, you hope that over many, many generations things will change. Of course, the problem we all have is a situation like the case of Salman Abedi. This country gave his parents asylum. They fled from Libya. We gave his parents asylum. Now we're working out what his parents actually believed. But actually, then 2 weeks ago, their son goes into a Manchester arena and blows up 22 people, one for every year of life this country gave him. So we could be in a situation where we're saying, okay, the first generation are fine, but we've no idea what their children are going to do. And I would very quickly make this point.
Really quick,
if you want to see the depth of this problem and a possible solution, see who the most vilified people in the Muslim community in this country, they are the reformers. Every single case, it's the reformers. Okay, and one of the London Bridge attackers last year attacked an imam who's a friend of mine in London. Okay, everybody knows this. The reformers are on the edge of this, and this is the point.
Okay.
The reformers may lose, and that used to be a big tragedy for the Islamic world, and now it's a tragedy for Britain.
Okay, Elif wants to come in, and then we're going to questions. Quick response from you, and then we must hear from our audience. Yeah.
I think it's really unfair. I mean, what makes us think that all of us, we are incredibly worried about what's happening, and I believe all of us want to find a solution forward. It's only how we're going to find a solution. That's what we are debating. I never said that this was not an essential thing. I moved to England, and maybe when you are an outsider, when you are a latecomer, you appreciate it even more. You love it even more. So that's a different thing. But what I'm trying to say is we're so used to having these debates on both sides of the Atlantic. When you bring one speaker who criticizes Islam and then another speaker who defends Islam, and they keep fighting and quarreling, I've never liked that. Sure. I never wanted to be part of that. I'm not even a believer myself, But I'm someone who's interested in dialogue, in peace, in faith, and I do note that the way forward is not by generalizing communities. The biggest problem we have today is how do we communicate with people who are not necessarily in this room? How do we find the same language? How do we reach out to girls, boys who do, yes, some of them come from conservative families, and yes, indeed, we must stop these fanatics, extremists. But if in doing so, we generalize all Muslims, I'm very worried that we're adding fuel to the fire of extremists.
I didn't generalize, I gave you very specific things.
Let's pause it there. Let's begin to hear some questions.
Just to end this here, lady comes in, she herself said she's not a believer. So she's born in Turkey, born Muslim, now she's in England. She's looking at it from the outside. What she's saying again is this, kumbaya, pie in the sky, don't overgeneralize, Douglas didn't overgeneralize, nobody overgeneralized, we're not overgeneralizing. It doesn't take a majority, it just takes a few. But the problem is that until you get the migrants, until you get immigrants, until you get refugees, until you get asylum seekers, until you get whoever it is that is coming from the outside into the country, and you have low education or no education, it is going to be extremely difficult for them to assimilate, especially if they coalesce in areas where previous generations and previous families and previous immigrants and refugees and asylees are staying. And that's all they see 24/7, 365 days a year. They don't take up the language. They don't send their kids to the best schools. They homeschool, or, religious schooling doctrine is going on. All of these things are happening. You are not going to solve this problem unless you somehow are able to take whoever comes, and that's why it has to be done slowly, so that you can assimilate them and they integrated as part of a society, bring a little bit of culture with it, but still not try to destroy the culture that was already there, which is European to begin with. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your host. My name is Dr. Nasir. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, like, share, and follow us. You know what to do. Check out our video links above and below. Comments as well. Final thought, when you're right, and when you're left, you're wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.